Thank you very much for the introduction. Well, unfortunately, I don't speak Lithuanian, so I hope what you said was something good about me. First, thank you very much for having me in VILNIUS. It's an honor to be present in this conference, and I've decided to do something a little bit different, just to change your views on the very interesting topics that you had just before. So, traditionally, and I've heard this a few minutes ago, our maritime industry is lagging behind, airlines, banking when it comes to digitalization, even trucking. And we're still using a lot of paper. We're still doing a lot of things manually. And our customers basically just want to know that their cargo is safe, secure, that it will arrive on time, and they want this on their computer, on the mobile device, as part of the usual service. So in other words, they want all the relevant information to be connected with real-time monitoring and predictability, end-to-end from the factory or the plant to the shelves of the shop. And of course, this has been exacerbated with the global pandemic, even if, yes, we could buy avocados, as you mentioned a few minutes ago, during the pandemic. But digital transformation is not something very simple. And instead of incremental improvements, we're looking to reimagine how we operate, to transform data, processes, platforms, improve communication, collaboration, and outcomes, basically end to end. So working on these big goals means that we're bound to make some mistakes along the way. But if we know ahead of time what we're up against, we can do our best to avoid them. We can also learn from others to see what's worked and what hasn't, and more importantly, clarify what mistakes we need to avoid in the shipping industry. So today, I have 5 key points I'd like to share with you. But first, a quick introduction of myself. I did hear my name before, but I'm not sure if you described me entirely. So I'm Andre Simha, as you can see. This picture was taken a few years ago. Now I look a little bit older, and I'm the Chief Digital Information Officer at MSC. I'm also the chairman of the supervisory board of the Digital Container Shipping Association, DCSA, which is a neutral non-profit organization founded by major ocean carriers to digitize and standardize the container shipping industry. It's like a mini IATA, if you wish. And I've spent the last 34 years at MSC, and today I'm responsible for leading and executing the company's overall digital transformation and innovation strategy. And of course, in this role, I also explore how the latest technologies, such as blockchain, IoT, smart containers, can improve and simplify container shipping for MSC's agencies and, of course, our customers around the world. So a brief word on MSC. I don't think I need to read the slide, but just to give you an idea of size, we are, of course, a global leader in transportation and logistics, privately owned and founded in 1970 by Gianluigi Aponte. And we operate 524 offices, if I'm not mistaken, across 155 countries with over 100,000 employees. And we have an integrated network of road, rail, and sea transportation, which stretches, of course, across the globe. So that was just a brief outline of the company. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of hints on what we're trying to avoid, rather than just promoting what we do. And I hope this will be interesting for you. So the first thing is, if you don't have a strategic vision, and digitalization, as you know, is not a trend or a buzzword, nor a nice to have. It's about simplifying things, improving customer experience, and being more efficient. And so we believe that digitalization can improve our efficiency, speed, transparency, the security, of course, and the sustainability. But it's not just externally or on the customer-facing side. It's also internally. And in fact, it requires adapting our business processes to the customer needs and not the other way around, of course. So at MSC, what we're doing is working on simpler solutions, simpler applications, supported by a simpler and more efficient back office operation. And as examples, we've implemented APIs for track and trace standards. We've implemented codification of depots, which has always been a big issue in terms of communication. We've launched a digital bill of lading program, which is very successful. We're working on smart containers and much more. And this is all around what we do as a transportation company. So strategic vision is something which is exceedingly important. Now, if we look at the second one, click, 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 it's we mustn't forget the why. And Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live for can bear almost any how." And what that means is, while digital transformation is not a matter of life or death, understanding why is always very important. And transformation needs buy-in from the people it affects, of course. And if they don't understand the why, then they'll be much likely to support the how. So people are naturally resistant to change. So a clear purpose really reduces that resistance. And of course, I'm talking from experience here. Now, why is digitalization in shipping the way forward, and why is it so important? And it's not about replacing people with digital technology or competing with other carriers. It's really about meeting the future demand as we become 10 billion on this planet by 2050. So the challenge is really enormous. And if you look back a little bit, in 1980, 40 years ago, we were 4 billion humans and we shipped 3 billion tons of goods around the world in all modes. And today we've doubled our population to over 8 million and multiplied by 4 times the cargo to 11 billion tons. So by 2030, it's estimated we're going to have to find a way to ship another 5 billion tons. But of course, we don't have 40 years to get there. And the revolution of bigger ships and the container has already happened. So we recognize the need to meet those growing volumes and improving global trade. We also recognize that there's a growing need from our customers for digital solutions, because obviously our customers have to respond to the needs of their end users, their customers. So as I said before, digitalization, it's a way forward. It's there to enable greater operational efficiencies, reliability, transparency, speed, and security, as well as, of course, sustainability, but also greater collaboration and customer satisfaction. So I think these are key items that we should remember. Now, if we look at the third one that I'd like to talk about, it's operating in silos and the lack of collaboration in some areas. So if you look at our world, our transport world, we're interdependent on third parties for almost everything we do. And in an industry like ours, with extremely high levels of interaction across the chain, collaboration is something which is essential. Carriers, agencies, ports, terminals, customs authorities, none of them can operate in isolation. So any advancements must work at an industry level, not just within our own organization. I think this is a key factor to remember. Our customers are also using various carriers, different transport and logistic partners. So it's very, very important that we understand that this collaboration is critical to the success. As carriers, we're calling, I think, over 500 ports, I mentioned earlier. And, lots of technology suppliers, startups are offering a whole bunch of solutions, but there's still a lot of legacy systems, different languages, various country regulations that we have to deal with. And this results in a lot of inefficiencies, misunderstandings, delays, and I'm sure this was discussed during this conference. And we can only improve our processes in operations if we realize that we're only as strong as the weakest link. So if we truly care about our customers, we have to look beyond our own little turf. So another very important factor, in my opinion. Now, if we take the fourth one I'd like to talk about, it's about focusing on the technology not on the end result. And I think this is a mistake that many of us will do and do. So if you look at from a technology standpoint, there's many solutions out there, and that's a good thing. We need that. But multiple solutions, multiple platforms actually create healthy competition, and competition enhances the creativity. And all of that gives customers a better choice. And we're all consumers, so I think we understand that. Customers and consumers need to have a choice. So there's a growing interest and needs from our customers in e-solutions, e-documentation, e-payments, upcoming ecosystems, digital platform. And at MSC, we're looking at the new technologies such as blockchain, IoT, because we believe they can bring benefits to the supply chain. But to us, the challenge remains the interoperability, because our customers are often multi-carrier, and for this, we need standards. And this means moving away from pure competition and engaging in more peer-to-peer conversations. This also means that we need to lay the foundations to enable this collaboration and this interoperability. And to that effect, I'd just like to spend just a few minutes on DCSA, the Digital Container Shipping Association, which some of you probably know, but we created in April 2019 as a neutral non-profit group founded and funded by the major ocean carriers to essentially digitize and standardize the container industry. So not developing solutions, but creating standards which would enable creating the foundations for building solutions. And if we look at the industry stakeholders that we're driving this change with, I think you can see on the screen, I guess, pretty clearly, both on the authority side, logistics participants, shippers and freight forwarders, of course, and solution providers. And we're all trying to work together to produce those standards and drive the change with the same goal. So I think this is something very positive for all of us. Since the launch of DCSA in April 2019, we've taken on some of the most important initiatives in the container shipping industry, and standards for all these initiatives that you see here on the screen have been published since, as I said, and I think end 2019 was the first ones. And we're really focused on helping carriers and all the other industry stakeholders to adopt the published standards to realize the true value of these standards. And finally, my last mistake that I try to avoid every day, but it's not always easy, I admit, it's not listening to the people, because ultimately everything we do comes down to the people. And chief among them, of course, are our customers that we listen to a lot, believe me. And if it doesn't make life easier, if it doesn't create a better, more intuitive and efficient way of working, then we're missing the mark. So it's not about the customers alone, of course. We keep a close contact. I do personally keep in touch with many of our customers, small and large. And we run demos of solutions. We do pilot projects. We try and survey to understand where we can really bring a benefit whilst at the same time improving our efficiency. And we have to incorporate internal teams, business partners, and even the talents of the future. Of course, if we lose sight of the human aspect in digital transformation, then we are definitely destined to fail. So I think these were my key messages. And as a conclusion, and here we have a beautiful ship sailing on a calm sea, the time has come for a change. And digital transformation is not easy, and there's no magic solution, although I do have my magic ball here, but it's not always functional. And at MSC, we try to bring a clear vision and purpose, a collaborative approach, and a people/customer-first mentality. And these are, in my opinion, ingredients to a successful digital transformation journey. And because we're in this game together, it doesn't stop at containers or carriers. Today, we're all responsible for the supply chain, and it's about getting the end-to-end supply chain to collaborate. So we need to work together as opposed to on our own, onboard the remaining players, whether it's regulatory, customs, authorities, banks, and we need to speak the same language and adopt the industry standards. So that was my message for today. I hope you found it insightful, and wish you all the best for the rest of the conference. And you can find my contacts here. I always like to chat on LinkedIn if you're connected. So please do feel free to get in touch. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that, yeah, it's sometimes hard to talk about your mistakes, but you did it. And I realized that the number 5, the mistake you mentioned, sometimes we do it ourselves. So yes, that was insightful. Thanks a lot
Thank you
for
very
being
much.
with us. Yes, and have a good day.